1 second. I'm going to play our intro for everybody that's been waiting on us on the live. And we will be back in 30 seconds to talk about all things Nick Saban retiring after 17 years with Alabama. Stay with us. Good evening. Breaking news in the Pep Talk pod world, in the sports world. I cannot believe I am saying this. Alabama head coach Nick Saban retiring after 17 years with the program. Welcome to the Pep Talk of Sports Court podcast with 5 very opinionated sisters talking about all things culture and sports. I am Shayna. I'm going to turn it over to my sisters real quick so we can introduce ourselves and get straight to it.
Hi, everybody. I am Tracy. I'm the oldest.
Hi, I'm Crystal. I'm daughter number 2.
Hello, everyone. I'm fabulous daughter number 3. My name's Melissa.
And it's your girl, Sean. I'm the baby. Sorry about that.
All right, this is live, everybody. It's the first time we've done this. So bear with us if there are some technical difficulties throughout. But like I mentioned, Nick Saban, Alabama head coach, retiring after 17 seasons. Guys, when you heard the news, what was the first thing that went through your head?
I collapsed. I passed clean out at work.
I was like, what? What's going on? Oh my goodness, no.
Not you passed
this
out.
for real.
Girl.
It's for real. This is like end of an era. Honestly, it's like, it's so crazy because we're all clearly, well, not clearly, some of us look younger than others. No, I'm just kidding. Well over 17 years old. So it is so weird to me because I'm just like, I can't even what was life like before? I mean, I know Chris remembers because Chris, you know, with Alabama, all this good stuff. So like, tell me guys, like where do we, I don't know. What's your thought?
Who's coming? Like, whoever is going to come behind Nick Saban, they got to be like the bomb.
There's some big shoes they have to fill.
It was such a shocker just to get who had that feeling, because when he played the last game, he didn't give no indication that was going to be the last game. So
No.
I think we all was like shocked to even hear that today.
I don't think Nick Saban is the kind of person that was gonna like go into this season at the beginning and be like, "This is my last season." Honestly, because he doesn't seem like he would have wanted to do like a farewell tour or anything like that. Like he was gonna make the decision, that was gonna be the decision, and that's it. And I feel like this is typical for me. This seems like the way Nick Saban would have went out. Like it seems typical to me.
Yeah, I'm definitely not surprised. I think I'm more shocked because I feel like, wow, you know, it's actually happening. But I think this is a really good time for him to step away. I'm not really shocked. I mean, he's 72. I didn't really have the idea that he was going to be hanging around for, you know, many more years or anything like that to come. And then you think about living a full life. I mean, he's given this much to, you know, just the coaching world. And it's like, you got to be able to step away and enjoy, as much as we hate to see it coming. What much more do you want from a 72-year-old man? You know, it's just kind of like, this is a time we're really just sad because of the legacy and the culture that we've created around Nick Saban being, Alabama's coach. But I'm not shocked. I think I just about fainted because I was like, oh Lord, thinking about all the stuff that could possibly happen, you know, going into next season, like the kids jumping into the transfer portal and decommitting, and we already starting to see a little of that happen. It's just like, that's the part that I'm dreading, you know.
So let me go ahead and read Saban's statement. He says, if you guys can see it, the University of Alabama has been a very special place to Terry and me. We have enjoyed every minute of our 17 years being the head coach at Alabama, as well as becoming a part of the Tuscaloosa community. It is not just about how many games we won and lost, but it's about the legacy and how we went about it. We always tried to do it the right way. The goal was always to help players create more value for their future, be the best player they could be, and be more successful in life because they were a part of the program. Hopefully we have done that, and we will always consider Alabama our home.
Roll
So that's the
Tide.
statement.
Roll Tide.
Do it the right way. No.
Yes.
Hint, hint. Some of y'all ain't doing it the right way, but we ain't gonna worry about that today. He was throwing that splash shade at somebody.
Yes.
I mean, like you said though, Sean, I mean, 72 years old. I mean, I think him and Terry just wanted to go down to their house in Florida and enjoy their grandkids while they still can. Truly, like, can you be mad at them? I think we're more. I was talking to the dude when I came in. He's like, "What? Saban retired? How many of y'all are mourning today in Alabama?" I was like, "Well, I mean, if anything, I feel like we're more like grateful. Like, it's like it was a good run, right?"
It was a great run with Saban. I have to applaud him. I'm gonna miss him, but hey, great.
Yeah, they have the Williams kid decommitted already. He was 5-star running back.
Yeah.
He did. Number 9 recruit. He did. I mean, I think we knew some of that was going to happen, but I mean, what can you say? Under Nick Saban, he won 201 games, tied with Vince Dooley for second most wins at a single school in SEC history, behind only who?
Bear Bryant.
Bear Bryant.
Yes. Yes.
Oh my goodness.
2 best came from the same school.
Came from the same school.
Yeah.
I know this is like a somber moment for everyone, but I'm excited to see who they're going to bring. Let's talk about this now, because they're throwing around a couple of names. And I want old boy to stay in Oregon. I'm not looking for him to come to T-Town. Please, no thank you. We don't want that.
You're talking about, you do.
Lannon.
So you're talking about, Lannon. Oh, okay. Dan Lannon, yeah.
No thanks. No thanks. I'm sorry. What'd you say?
He was a graduate assistant at Alabama, so he was part of the Saban coaching tree.
Yeah, no, thank you. Dabo Sweeney, heck no, that's gonna be a double negative. We don't want that either.
Girl, you made my body shiver.
Clemson don't even want him right about now.
No,
please let Dabo stay where he at. Please.
Mike Norvell. No, we do not recruit criers. Keep him over in Florida, where he is celebrated for his crying. I think the only good look right now we got is Lane Kiffin and Steve Sarkisian.
And they got Marcus Freeman on the roster.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Marcus. Yeah.
I like Marcus.
Yeah, I like Marcus.
I like what he's
doing. But
do
we really think?
Dame. Huh?
Do we think they're gonna bring that? Let's just talk about it. we really thinking that's gonna happen. Sound good though.
Yeah, he is a candidate, right? So it's possible, but I think that I don't see Steve Sarkisian coming because he's just kind of settling in at Texas.
And they just joined the SEC,
right?
So
they coming in first.
No,
right. There's been some talks about Kirby Smart. What y'all think?
Georgia. He can stay at Georgia.
He'll stay at Georgia.
Yeah.
I don't see that happening. No,
I don't either.
I don't think I'm like Tracy. I don't think it'll be Sarkisian, even though I think he would be awesome. I think Texas is the richest program in college football, right? They are about to join the SEC, so it's like, what incentive really? I mean, I think, I don't know, is Texas more set up for success at this juncture than Alabama is? I mean, I feel like Nick has left the program in pretty good shape, right? Yeah. But who wants to be the dude to come after the dude, right? Who want to be that guy?
Hey,
I mean, something to think about. Yeah,
you got to come with a playbook.
What's the playbook, Chris? What's the playbook?
His brain. can't put his brain in nobody else's head. That ain't gonna work.
What's the playbook?
I don't know, because I mean, you gotta understand, he did. It took a while to get to him from what Bear Bryant had left at Alabama, had going to Alabama, because Gene Starlin, he was okay, but once it took other coaches before we actually got to Nick Saban after Bear Bryant. So it's a walk that we have. It's a mountain that they have to climb, but they got to come with.
No, you're right. I'm just saying, like, that's an interesting point, because I just saw the Saban won more games in 17 seasons at Alabama than the Tide won in the 24 seasons between Bear Bryant retiring and Nick Saban getting there. So
right.
Oh, exactly. Yes, so
right.
it's something. I don't know. They got a lot to think about. I want to know what the AD got to think about this. I don't even know who is Alabama AD at this moment.
Burns.
Oh, what Burns? Yeah,
Greg Burns.
Okay.
So I mean, he definitely got his work cut out for him, right? Because Alabama, I feel like Alabama boosters are like even more impatient than fans. Like for Alabama right now, with the set, it's just like it's either playoffs or bust. Like if you don't get in the playoffs, it's time to go.
Done. Yeah, you're done. That's it.
And like,
and God forbid you don't beat Auburn.
Ooh.
Oh, you must leave at the end of the game. Don't even come back to campus.
Ooh.
Can't even ride the bus. Yeah.
Even if you make it to the playoffs. We lost Auburn. Oh no, you done.
You're done. Yeah. Right. And Alabama reached 8 of the 10, like they reached the playoff 8 of the 10 seasons that it's been in existence. So it's like it's playoff or bust for us. Like if you can't get us there, and I mean, I don't know. I feel like next season is gonna be like a fever dream. Like we're probably gonna win a lot. We might actually win a championship. Who knows? It might be crazy. And then I don't know. We might be in the wilderness.
The thing we're about to face right now is player trust. Their players are going to have to trust where they're committing to. And because whoever we're getting, if they have not really established that type of presence in the recruiting world, because let me tell you, I have been in and around sports recruiting. It is the biggest mesh of politics, relationships, who you know. It's a game. And it's literally like being at the casino gambling. Every time you step out into that recruiting space. Yes, it is. I had no idea until I literally got my glimpse into it's intense. And so I hope whoever they get, we don't have to go through that drought where they really don't have any position in the recruiting world, because that's going to be a big problem for us, especially when we talk about 4 and 5-star guys that we are so accustomed to getting at Alabama. Those guys aren't going to give you any looks if you don't have any street credit, as we would say, or any history behind your name and what it is that you can do. So I'm really, really hoping that we get somebody that has been around the industry for a while and actually really understands the importance of recruiting and relationships.
Yeah, I think it's gonna take someone, honestly, like Lane Kiffin, that the guys will trust and have seen his work and have seen his work at Alabama. I think, like, honestly, I'm looking at all the possibilities of people and as how the transfer portal work. Oh my God. Like, it's going to be kind of hard to even keep that person. So you're going to need someone to guarantee them something other than come and play for Alabama.
Because Nick was a draw. I mean, he did know how to play that recruiting game. I think you mentioned Lane. Lane strikes me, and from what I've heard in and around college football, Lane strikes me as someone who does connect with players on a different level. He's very personable. I don't know if Lane is kind of a wild card, right? He's a little bit kooky, a little bit out there. He's had his issues in the past. And with the amount of scrutiny that would be on this position at this particular time, would he be able to stand up to that kind of pressure, knowing all his past history with, you know, personal and professional? Like, I love Lane. I love that he is kind of like a Wild Wild West cowboy type, right? But can he stand up to coming in to fill Nick Saban's shoes?
The shoes are already too big to be filled, so it's who we're willing to give a chance to. I think it's who the boosters feel like they could truly trust, because they have established some type of rapport and relationship with him. That it's gonna be a draw. It's gonna be either they really liked him or they couldn't stand. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be one of those situations, whether or not he makes it, I guess, in the top two for, you know, consideration. I think Marcus Freeman is gonna be a good look. I just don't see any other names on there. I remember all these years ago when before Alabama acquired Nick Saban as a head coach. Because prior to the Saban era, we just wanted somebody that was going to help us win. Right. And people knew of Nick Saban, you know, because of he, you know, came from very successful programs and that type of thing. But we didn't have a lot to kind of go off of. He grew on us. I mean, you think about all the years we've been riding this wave with Saban and the successes of it and the lack thereof, and the years we got to the championship, didn't win, or got one step away. You know what I'm saying? It's been that of a roller coaster ride, but with greatness. You know, nobody can disrespect anything that he's put into this program. So I feel like that whoever that candidate is we're going to have to give them time to kind of get their feet wet. They're never going to be another Nick Saban, though. That's
so well, who is the go ahead, Tracy.
I think that the reason why I think so highly of Lane, because Lane, his record this year was 11-2. Like it seems like the more he's with Ole Miss, the better his record gets, and the more people he get to buy into his program. And that's what we are accustomed to at Alabama.
Yeah, that's true. So who is number one in ranking, like recruiting rankings, if Alabama is number 6?
Oh, I hadn't even looked at that poll. That's a good question.
Thank you, Jonathan Newton, so much. Thank you, Jonathan Newton, so much for joining us on the live feed. I see a couple people in here. We got a couple haters in the audience. Jeremy. Thanks, Jeremy, for joining us.
Go back home.
Hi,
Kiana. Go away, Jeremy. Go away.
Speaking of Jeremy and his coach, Mike Norvell, his buyout over at Florida State, $4 million. The Dabo Sweeney buyout, 7.5. Dan Lanning, that's $20 million. That's not going to happen. He just got over there. So, I mean, there are a couple options for us, you know, financially. I mean, Saban, highest paid college football coach in history, right? So, Alabama is clearly willing to spend the money. I don't think they're willing to spend that kind of money on somebody like Dan Lanning, who is really unproven. He ain't done nothing yet, right?
No. He can stay over there with them Ducks. He good.
Yeah. And then I also don't think that Alabama should take risks on people that it don't cost nothing to get. You know, $4 million. Let's just let Norvell stay out there and right. Y'all can get Norvell for a bag of chips. Exactly, Jeremy. That's what I'm saying. We just need to let him stay right down there at FSU. He too cheap to get.
And we right on over there.
EJ Hayes says, I'm a Georgia fan. Nick Saban ruined my childhood until my young adult years. Go Dogs. We can finally get away from him. This is so funny because I think I posted it on Facebook that Auburn fans always cheering everything but a championship. They always celebrate everything about us but a championship. Yep. I can't say that so much about Georgia anymore since they've been winning the last few years. But
my Georgia friends have been real quiet. Living in Georgia is tough being an Alabama fan because it's a lot of Alabama fans here in Metro Atlanta. Yeah. I mean, a lot. We're like not just like a small percentage. You know, any given day we're walking around roll tide at each other in the grocery stores, the malls, wherever we are. But the Georgia fans that I have that I've, you know, built relationships with being here in Georgia over the years, they have been incredibly quiet over the last month or so. So I'm interested to see how they come out the woodworks with this move with old big guy.
But Queen Clark is asking.
Well, I was I'm sorry.
No, I'm saying Kiana's saying, what about Sarkisian? Do we think he would leave? Chris will take that one.
No, I don't think he's gonna leave. I actually think he's gonna stay where he is. But my other thought was maybe some of the NFL coaches who are actually stepping down and losing their positions. How we think about one of them actually coming and playing and taking that position, because remember, Nick did turn down some NFL positions.
They are looking at DeMarcus Ryan. Didn't he play for Alabama? When he was on the staff or something like that?
Yeah, I think he was some type of coordinator for like a position coach.
Right. So they were looking at him.
Yeah, but I mean, if we're gonna start dropping those kind of names, please let Arthur Smith stay where he's at.
Right.
Like,
who we don't want. We don't want
who we
Arthur
don't want.
Smith.
Let's start there. Yeah, we don't want Arthur Smith. who would be interested in entertaining? Pete Carroll. I mean, I don't know if it's a bad look. I just don't know if Pete.
Him and Nick the same age. They
him and Pete the cat exact same age for real.
Yeah, they're gonna both come to Alabama.
Well, Pete looks like he has a little bit. Pete seems like he's got a little bit more pep in his step, because he be running down the sideline.
Yeah,
like, he got a lot of energy.
He do.
And honestly, it still feels like with Pete that he still feels like he's got something left to do. I feel like with Nick, there's nothing left to do. Like, so
this last game he showed us no emotions this last game. I was like, okay, so is this it, Nick? Okay.
Yeah.
How did I think about it? It's like, oh, okay, this how you was this year. You was real calm. Like you wasn't throwing your headset off and shaking nobody up or nothing like that. So
yeah. Nick said
we have certainly had our share of NFL coaches though. Because Dabo, we was glad to get that Dabo's went back to the NFL. Dabo, whatever, however pronounce his name.
Who?
Dabo.
Dabo. I thought you were talking about Smith. I was like, what I missed? God.
Girl, that's an Alabama accent coming out. Because I said, who is Dabo? What?
Dabo's.
Dabo. That's it. We talked about the players that were decommitting. Jeremy says Nick put y'all in a bad position. Just face this 6 and 7 year because Hollywood just decommitted and it's going to be several more leaving. I think the program is prepared for a lot of people to decommit. Yeah. I also think depending on who they bring in, if it's honestly, like I said, if it's like a Lane Kiffin, somebody who is able to connect with players on a different level, they love playing for him. I feel like you're still going to get some pretty good recruits.
Yeah.
Right.
And I don't think we're going 6 and 7. I think that's being delusional, but
yeah, no, I don't think we're going.
You showed out with Facebook that our record would be 0-12 for next year. I was like, well, what y'all drinking today? What's going on? Yeah,
they on the hill.
We're gonna win no game. What?
Okay, so Kiana makes a good point. I feel like a lot of coaches, and this is not just Nick, I feel like and it's been happening too in college basketball, coaches that are of Nick's age are leaving. You got these conference realignments happening, these mega conferences coming up.
Oh, yeah.
You have the transfer portal, you got NIL, and these old school coaches are like, you know what? It's been fun. As the meme says, shout out to everybody. I had fun. We out of here.
Yeah. Somebody asked, would Nick be there more in like a consult phase for Alabama? I do think so. I think in his transition out of T-Town, I don't think he's gonna totally wash his hands of the program. I think that in some capacity because we had some big recruits come through there. I feel like, you know, this is home for him. This was kind of like his baby too. I hope I say I feel like, but I truly just hope that he will stay in some type of consult role and try and strengthen that belief, or, you know, motivate those players that they had committed. Yeah, to kind of, you know, stick around and trust process kind of thing. But you know, the decommit is coming.
We lost Chris,
that would be great.
Sorry. I just wanted to make it a point. We lost Chris real fast because her internet out in the sticks is kind of spotty. But what were you saying, Melissa?
No, I was saying that would be great though if he stayed behind, you know, to kind of consult and keep the program running strong, you know, because hey, who wants
put my church finger up?
Who wants to come behind him? Go ahead.
I'm gonna put my church finger up. I feel like he can't do that. I feel like he might help them find a new coach, but he can't do that because like Sean already said, shoes are too big to be filled, right? If you got that presence looming over you, who's gonna want to walk into that situation, right? Second of all, Nick is a control freak, right? We have seen that. He can only coach a certain way. He can only run his program a certain way. And if he ain't running it, I don't want it. So I don't see him sticking around to consult anybody. I see him saying, again, shout out to everybody. I had fun. Bye.
Hey, Nick is finna be doing some commentating. He's gonna be on somebody what the morning show on Saturday mornings when they be looking at all the football stats.
Oh, college game day or something like that.
College game day. He's gonna appear on that. He's gonna go on the Fireball show. He's gonna do a whole bunch of other lists. I don't see him sticking around. I'm literally like, he's gonna give over that platform and he's gonna give his blessings, and that's it. I don't think he's gonna do it.
I don't feel it.
I don't know. Maybe I'm just not ready to accept that. I truly hope. I don't know. I mean, that could very well be true. I mean, it would totally suck. But y'all, dog, Nick, we just needed one more.
One more, Nick. That's all we needed. One more.
All we needed. But you know what, though? Let's be real here. We have talked over the last 3 or 4 years. Okay, now let's take a different position on this. We have talked over the last 3 or 4 years and said, now, wait a minute. Some of the calls that Nick has made as it relates to coordinator and a coaching standpoint have been super questionable, and they were not characteristic of stuff that he would have done in his prime. That has left a lot of us with a bitter taste in our mouth. If we could go back and start with the Jalen Hurts era at Alabama, we were totally frustrated with Nick and his choices. I mean, if we just gonna be out there with it, right? We never gonna. I mean, our fanship is unwavering. We're never gonna leave Alabama and choose some other team, and that type of thing. But if we're talking about true fans, we have been on this wave of instability for a couple of years, right? What's going on with our coordinators? Why are we having this issue? What would be the reason that he would bench Jalen Hurts for Tua? And it just seemed like a lot of stuff that was happening was just out of his wheelhouse, like stuff he wasn't really doing in that prime of Alabama dominating college football. And so I feel like we can take this out with a grain of salt, like really be appreciative to everything he's given the program and the fans and these guys that have come through that program. And I mean, shoot, Alabama got the most athlete, whatever. We got the most alumni on any NFL roster right now or something like that. They hold a record for. Sorry, couldn't even get my words out. But if we think about that in that capacity, it's kind of like this was a good time for you to step away, because it was starting to seem like things were kind of unraveling a little bit. And people in this transfer portal and these NIL deals started making it real difficult, for people. Oh, Chris is back, for people to kind of stick around, until the end with programs. What y'all think about that?
I have to agree with you on that one, because of course, me and my children are always like, he ain't doing too good this year. What's going on? Who is this offensive coordinator? Who is this defensive coordinator? So if Nick he about to retire, what you think? And we like, well, yeah, I guess it's gonna come, but I sure want him to go out with a win, But so I mean, you could see it coming. It's just like, why this week though, Nick? Why?
Well, I really think when they open up that transfer portal, man, he couldn't control those guys going and leaving, and he didn't know who was coming in, and he didn't get what he wanted. When it came down to the people coming back to him, the ones that was coming, I think he couldn't handle it no more. Because, like Shayna said, he's a control freak. He lost control when they started the transfer portal. He lost it. We were so dominant for years. We had five-star recruits time after time again. Somebody go out, we had another one coming in. It was from Mark Ingram to Derrick Henry to, it just kept going. And it was like, man, you got all the men and everybody else got boys, So and now
we were always able to reload. We were always able to reload.
Yes, for sure.
I wanted to read a stat. Under Nick Saban, Alabama had more players drafted in the first round, 44, than he had losses. Period. So that should tell you like his ability to. It was just like next man up every season. During the season, next man up, and that transfer portal. Really, again, a lot of these old school coaches, a lot of guys from a different era, they were like, you know what, this ain't the biz. I don't too much care for this.
And let me say, like, the one reason that he left the NFL because he was like, I don't have time to be trying to control somebody that make more money than me because they're not going to pay attention to me and respect me and follow my rules. That's why I'm gonna go into this college world. And so once they did the transfer portal or the NIL. And then it was like, oh, okay, then.
Big money.
All right, then. Y'all want to get that money, get the big head. You don't want to listen. All right, retirement for Nick.
One of the other downsides too to this transfer portal is, if we thought about, we were going to be losing a player, it's like, well, you didn't really have to worry about him next season because, he was going to be sitting down for a minute, But here's the question that I have about this move and the timing of this move. Why right now? Like, why we couldn't wait until we got through spring, and kept our commits, and made sure everybody was on campus and nice and settled in and been like, all right, now I'm out.
It's almost like somebody pissed him off, right? It's like, okay, I'm gone. I'm out of here. And then boom, here come this little letter of, I'm leaving moment.
Me and Terry went down to Florida and sat on the beach, and I done came back and decided to tell y'all to get somebody else to do it.
our Dear John letter. Dear John, are you serious, Nick? Are you serious?
Honestly, too, I think another thing, like with the transfer portal, with NIL, all these things, like for me, it's like a double-edged sword, right? It's a good thing for the players because these guys have been sacrificing their bodies, sacrificing their financial futures, right? Playing this game, these programs, the Alabamas, the Texases, the Clemsons are making bank off these guys, right? And they may have a chance to play in the NFL. So it's like, I get it that for the old school people who are used to things being a certain way, it's like, I don't really like what it's doing to the game. But then you also have to look at it from the player standpoint and from kind of where we are as a society and wanting people to be compensated for their work, for their labor, for me, NIL was a good thing in the end because it does help the players. But as far as the amateur nature of college football, I think the game is kind of irrevocably like changed now. Like you can't, I don't know how you course correct at this point.
Right. What Jeremy say?
Jeremy says NIL deals. Yeah, he says NIL deals made it a level playing field. Everybody knows Nick and Bama was throwing that money to dodge charges at the recruits that came there. Okay, so we got a little shade coming from the Florida State Seminole fans saying that Alabama was paying people. Aww. That's long been the conversation that we were paying people to come to Alabama.
Did he miss out on his Dodge Charger?
Jeremy. He wanted his challenger. He said, hold on. I knew Nick was giving out
He had to say Nick had some stock in Dodge. You said allegedly he was getting challenges and charges. What do they have in Florida State?
I don't know. Well, Dodge has discontinued the Charger and the Challenger, so ain't nobody getting those anymore.
As they should. I was thinking they was giving them out 2 for $15. It was so many on the highway one time.
Not the 2 for 10.
Kiana says, I respect the NIL, especially when they get injured in college and don't get a chance to make it to the next level. And I think that was the main argument for NIL is that you're banking on a future that's not guaranteed. This is a physical game. And you look at the injuries that come with that, not even just like a torn ACL. You're talking about CTE. You're talking about all these things that really could affect your quality of life. And you should be paid for that.
You should. And we're slowly starting to see these players truly get compensated for putting their bodies on the line week in and week out. I mean, even as far when you talk about CTE, even as far as NFL players, their life after the NFL, they had that settlement going on for NFL players. And I just think that, that just speaks to people starting to really put stock in the players and what they're giving us week in and week out. It's a sport, but it's truly for entertainment. And somebody's got to put their body on the line to do that. We love to see somebody get a good pop, and get hit. But then you think about it like you just said, Shayna, you could get hurt this week and then your college career over, let alone going to the NFL, and it's just like, the players deserve it. I mean, you think about the amount of money that these players bring these universities and these programs, like, they've been deserving to get paid for it, but it's something so new that we just never saw it coming because it was such hold on, Tracy, my bad. It was such a bad thing to see players get compensated, as a college athlete. That was like so frowned upon. So now we're looking at it and we're supposed to be like, dang, you're getting paid to go to school and play. But I'm sorry, what you were saying?
Also, Sean, I just want to add to it. It changes lives too. It changed, like, so many people are able to bless their families, and they living like everything changed from when I was growing up in the 80s. You know what I'm saying? Those guys would go off to school and they'll come back home and their parents and everybody is still struggling. Everybody in the neighborhood trying to send them off to college kind of thing. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So now they have the opportunity to be able to be a blessing to their family members, for their talent, strictly for their talent. So I really love the NIL. Seriously.
I do too. But one thing I like around, NILs, I know we're kind of getting away from Nick here just a brief second, but one thing I like about NILs is that it's not specific to just the stars of those teams and on those rosters. These kids are truly, if you ain't riding the bench and you getting any type of play time, you getting some NIL money. And like you said, Tracy, that's taking the burden off because you got to think about it. A lot of athletes, I'm not going to say all of them, but a lot of people come from families that are not fortunate enough to truly support you through college. So being able to actually go to college, play something, play a sport that's your passion and be compensated for that on top of trying to get an education and not having to pay for that, where mama didn't have no money while you was at home. You definitely ain't got no money to send to you while you're at school or dad or whoever. I think that speaks to the importance of in these NIL deals because it's for even what we think as like the least of them. These guys that are not, in headlines every week.
That's right. Yeah. And we understand those $15.53 deposit.
Daddy.
that our daddy was sending. Or $27.83 on a MoneyGram.
Yeah.
Where are we going with this?
I was like, the ATM only allowed me to get 20.
Only allowed.
Yes.
I was so happy when the Chase. I was so happy when the Chase Bank on our campus allowed us to start taking out 10s and 5s. Because, child, I'm telling you, it would be like, okay, well, we're gonna have to get the next deposit when you double it up next week. Because I don't know what I'm supposed to do.
Oh my goodness! Yeah. They truly saw that you kept going to that ATM and couldn't get no money out, and they started feeling bad. That was what it was.
That is true. I was so happy when what was it that came along? I think it's Cash App. I don't even know if it was Cash App at the time. Or probably for my child, it was the Serve card.
I didn't have that.
Really? Oh my goodness.
Lord.
My mom and them would give me some money to put on Haley's car, and I was like, oh, okay, yeah, we just gonna load it on up. There you go. So
I wish I had a card.
Things have changed.
That would have stopped me from going to the ATM and just walking away with a receipt, child. Because
not with no money neither. It's just
we was just coming back home. We ain't go out as far as everybody else. We was just coming back, down the road saying, "Can we get $10, please?"
Oh yeah.
All right, so sisters, we're gonna close it out. I just want everybody to go around. We'll start with our oldest. Give a few words on what you think Nick Saban's legacy at Alabama is.
Nick Saban legacy is top tier. He done just good stuff in Tuscaloosa. Let's say that outside of football, like the homes he done built, the families he has reconnected, the money that he done put in Tuscaloosa, the jobs he done brought in. I think it's just top tier. He has done a phenomenal job at Alabama. I know the people in Tuscaloosa is going to miss him because we're going to miss looking at his serious face on the weekend and then perhaps getting a laugh or two at the end of the game,
Yeah.
But yeah, I think he's just a wonderful all-around guy to me.
All right, Chris, what about you?
The relationship that he had with all his players, even the past players, they still come back home to Alabama and still spend time with Nick and the guys and help him with helping with the future players of Alabama with the recruiting. Motivation to let them know that even if they don't make it to the NFL, to the next league, that there is something else out there for them because of the manhood that Nick has installed into them to make them grow.
Our producer said that you sounded like Maya Angelou with that statement.
And still I rise.
It still will rise.
And still I rise.
It still will roll. Roll time.
Oh my goodness.
I know that be laugh because I can't stop.
Right. And it's your turn, Missy. What do you think?
I think the one thing that'll probably stick with a lot of people is his mannerism and what he's instilled in the guys. I used to always kind of get excited to see media day to see what the guys have learned, because not all of them learn how to speak in front of people or what the words to say to people, and how to overcome adversities when someone is coming to you and attacking you. And I think what he instilled in them is just awesome. So I think a lot of people are going to, they're probably going to miss that as well. But hey, great job, Nick. Great job.
Shunsky, what say you?
Bittersweet. I am gonna miss the confidence that our players had in their staff. Because if there was nothing else that we thought is like, when they got on that field, we trusted that Nick Saban was gonna figure out how to make it happen, and that W was gonna be on that scoreboard at the end of the game. And I missed that confidence, that we had to be able to truly say that and stand on that. And so, coming in, it's hard for players to build up that trust. And I have watched over the years, even as players now that are NFL players, talk about how he impacted their life in such an amazing way. He and his wife, just the role they played in these athletes' life on and off the field. And I'm truly going to miss that for them, because I feel like coming into it, it's almost like we starting from scratch, and that's going to be a total game changer for our program here until we kind of get settled in and find our footing. But I'm gonna miss the confidence of it all. Just saying, when the game started, okay, we see Nick there. We know he's gonna figure it out. We just had the confidence and trusted his process. But kudos to him. Hats off to him. Thank you so much for giving us all these years of greatness in Alabama football. All these years that we could confidently talk trash and we had something to back it up with. Even if we didn't pull off the win, we can still run it back and say, okay, but how many of these you got? You know, how many of these you got? Come holler at me when you got some of this. Come holler at me when you got
we can still say it though. We can still say it.
We can, but we gotta tread lightly coming in with some new stuff. Don't get too biggity. Like grandma used to say, don't be too biggity with it right now. You know, we gotta take it easy going into that. So yeah, I'm gonna miss that. But man, so appreciate everything Nick has done for T-Town and for Alabama. Roll Tide, roll.
Yeah.
Roll Tide.
Yeah. I'm gonna say, I think all of you ladies said it brilliantly. And the only thing I would really add is just like I hate to sound too emotional about it, but I feel like there was a level of pride, right, for our state, for where we come from. And Alabama, when you're from Alabama, the saying is, thank God for Mississippi, right? Because it's like, what do you have to brag about?
Truly.
But I feel like there was some pride in being able to say, I'm from Alabama, right? We're from Alabama. And I think he was a major part of that renaissance for our state. And just like you mentioned, Tracy, the jobs, the industry, everything that just came along when you have a successful program. And so I just want to thank him for that, and him and his wife, and like you said, all the work they did, and especially with the guys, because I think he really turned a lot of boys into men, and that's very important. And he really served as a father figure to a lot of them, and it's nice to see a coach who I believe genuinely cares about their well-being. They are not just commodities on the field for him. Like he actually cared about them. So with that being said, thank you, Coach Saban, for 17 years.
Yes, thank you.
Enjoy your retirement.
Yes,
and you deserve it. And now we're gonna roll tide. Let's give a roll tide. And then
roll tide.
Roll tide.
Roll tide. And with that, we're gonna go ahead and put them to sleep. Good night, everybody.
Yeah!